And y'all better be subscribed. This is the hottest YouTube reaction channel on the planet. Look at those beautiful Patreon members. Man, what's up, Army? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick. As you can see from the title, as you can see from the thumbnail, you know why you here. BTS and how they took over America. This is your first time on the channel. Please stop what you're doing. Hit that subscribe button and become a real redeemer today. You might even think you subscribe to the channel and you're not. Come on, click it. Also, for more content like this, jump on the Patreon. Stretchy episodes are up with J-Hope and JK, who's been killing it. We have live performances, dance practices, some exclusive choreo battles up there in the Soup Bon Voyage, all that good stuff. But for the most part, I seen this channel, and they was talking about how BTS Won Over America. I was gonna watch it by myself, but I just figured, hey, let me record it, get some good content out of it, a great conversation. And it might have been something y'all seen before, and I might pick up some information that I didn't know about. We talk about all the time on this channel how BTS probably won over America, from the information that the Redeemers have gave us, from stuff we learned from other gods, and then just kind of piecing together like how a K-pop group would market themselves to an American audience. But we can jump into this and have a conversation when we're done.
Americans have a deep love of boy bands.
Very true.
It seems that every few years, a new group climbs to the top of the pop charts, stealing the hearts of millions.
His smile is adorable.
But since the breakup of One Direction in 2015, no other group has been able to capture and hold our collective attention. That is, until BTS. BTS, aka 방탄소년단, the 7-member Korean idol group, has become a global phenomenon. There's RM, Jimin, Suga, V, Jin, Jungkook, and J-Hope.
You can't think about popular music right now without thinking about BTS, arguably the biggest band in the world.
Few people expected a Korean-speaking boy band to become the next IT sensation in the United States. But 6 albums, 6 EPs, 5 tours, and millions of fans later, BTS has cemented its place in American pop culture. Just about every decade has its own boy band on the pop charts. The cycle goes like this. A boy band lands a breakout hit, gets a lot of attention, builds a passionate fan base, releases a few albums, tours the world, and breaks up just in time for a new one to come and take its place.
There's these 7-year cycles where every once in a while a big boy band comes up. You know, in the early 2000s you had NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, and then it took a little break, and then One Direction came back huge. Once One Direction kind of went away and went on their hiatus, there was a gap.
But what's interesting about BTS's rise to fame in the US is how a group from the other side of the world, with only one English-speaking member, took the spot from bands like 5 Seconds of Summer and The Wanted.
It's not just a need for a new boy band every few years, you have to be the right boy band at the right time.
That's true.
BTS's timing was impeccable. The proof is in the numbers. In 2018, BTS landed 3 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 chart. The last band to do that was the Beatles.
Well, what if I need more coverage?
State Farm was there for your what ifs.
What if?
That's special in itself. Like a sidebar, that, you know what I mean, the Beatles had dropped so long ago. Nobody else had broke that record. None of the groups that they're talking about. So One Direction didn't do it. The Jonas Brothers didn't do it. Groups like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys didn't do it. Probably other, smaller scale groups that I can't even think about didn't do it. That's already kind of like a lot of food for thought in itself.
YouTube records like the fastest video to reach 100 million views and the most streamed video in 24 hours.
They have broken so many records. After release, they've been breaking their own record.
Their album, Map of the Soul Persona, had 3 million pre-orders internationally, and when released, topped the iTunes charts in 89 different countries. BTS is the first South Korean group to reach 10 million followers on Twitter, perform at the Billboard Music Awards, and be the musical guest on Saturday Night Live. BTS's music is a blend of different genres like pop, hip-hop, and EDM, and they're known for their catchy hooks and unique choreography. But more importantly, the band members write their own lyrics. And even though they're mostly in Korean, the socially conscious songs usually contain a few English phrases.
The lyrics, they're not superficial, they're actually like, they mean something. They talk about like issues that we can relate with.
Experts agree that a big part of America's fascination with BTS stems from a desire for something new.
I think K-pop is having a moment because it's extremely different.
Not only is there an increased appetite to understand different cultures, but I think that there's a huge Asian community in the US that loves seeing an artist like BTS represent themselves.
It's becoming this counterculture movement where it's very
That's
new,
my
it's
guy.
very exotic for the teens, and it's something that's very different from what the rest of the people are listening to.
I wouldn't want to say like how.
Redeemers, do y'all like think that's true? That the push was because it was Asian people within like America who see themselves like in BTS and kind of want to push that forward. Just let me know in the comments.
Main Street artists now all sound the same. They don't, but it's something more culturally different.
Surprisingly, the language barrier hasn't been an issue for BTS.
And we're very happy to be the messenger for many people's lives and the positivities.
Music doesn't need a language, you know? Like, you just need to hear it to, like, have a good feeling about it.
It's never been difficult to just find translations, to just read it while watching, reading while listening.
A hit is a hit, so at the end of the day, you still have to have a super strong melody, a lyric that resonates with people, and hook after hook after hook. Doesn't matter if you're singing in Farsi or Korean.
I agree with that 1,000%. And y'all know I normally don't even pause. I normally let the videos like rock through, but I don't want to forget some of this stuff. Great music will transcend any type of language, and I think BTS has mastered that. They've mastered music in the sense of sometimes you can just hear the beat, the melody, and without even speaking Korean, you might be able to piece together almost exactly what's being played just because they do music that'll like really, touch your soul. So, I agree with that 1,000%. I always look at music as artwork, and sometimes art it speaks to everybody.
But in order to understand BTS's success in the Western market, you have to go back to the group that changed South Korean music forever, Sotaji and Boys.
Sotaji and the
In
Boys.
April 1992, the group debuted their song, I Know, on a popular Korean talent show.
The reason why it was really successful and why he's like a pioneer for K-pop idols is because before the emergence of Sotaji, the music industry of Korea was heavily focused on catering towards the taste of adults, and they didn't really consider teens as a legitimate market for music.
The judges of the talent show dismissed the performance, but the teenagers of South Korea couldn't get enough.
A lot of his songs were like very counterculture, and they had lyrics that teens could relate to.
While Seoktaeji's performance ignited a shift in South Korean pop culture, it was Psy's 2012 viral hit Gangnam Style that took K-pop global. The song peaked at number 2 in the Billboard Top 100 and stayed on the charts for 31 weeks. It was also the first video to ever reach 1 billion views on YouTube.
It was the first time the general public had seen Korean language going on air in American TV shows. Back in those days, when they thought about Korea, it was like mostly nuclear missiles because they like confused it with North Korea.
Everybody has Gangnam Style in their deeper mind,
Psy's Gangnam Style was one of the biggest songs of 2012, but more importantly, it proved that K-pop could find a sizable audience in America. BTS debuted its first album in 2013. Too Cool for School gained fame in South Korea, and the band definitely used social media to gain international fans. The strategy paid off. BTS won Best New Social Artist at
Pause. That's where I think BTS was just ahead of their time. It seemed like, especially a lot of stuff that we had like learned from, Rise of Bangtan, that the Redeemers gave us information on, other guides and other things of that nature. They utilize social media better than anybody else. The only time I've seen someone kind of revolutionize social media, I always kind of give Soulja Boy his flowers because I felt like he kind of did that with like YouTube. He did that with ringtones also. But you know, I always kind of give him his flowers for that. But BTS vlogging and like kind of showing everybody like them from the ground up and organically just building your fan base, I felt like is just something that a lot of people don't do anymore. Especially within America, I'll kind of talk from that standpoint. Everything is so like microwave. Like, you know, like a viral song, and it's just like, hey, I'm here, and like nobody knows who this artist is. They kind of heard the one song, and then, you know, the second song will come out, and, you know, if it hits, and it'll be fine. They'll drop a third song, and if it's just not that, people will leave, and people will be very quick to leave because they weren't really organic fans. They kind of just like, you know, heard the song, waiting for kind of the next thing to come out. And that artist didn't have anything to kind of have them stick around, like vlogs or anything for them to kind of see where the journey came from. With BTS, their whole story is documented. So it's like you can almost click on anything or do your research and kind of start from the bottom and then kind of work your way up until whenever BTS came into your life. And the thing is, once you do that, you just fall so in love, like you fall so much in love with the group that you feel like you're a part of it. Like you feel like you're fighting with them. So when people disrespect them or when, you know, people give them a hard way to go, or you feel like someone is just being like shady towards them, it's almost like a family member and you feel like you got to defend them. And it goes deeper than music. And it's like, you know, obviously we know they're uber talented. But it's just, you know, following that journey and stuff is they perfectly have set things to be just so organic that like they will have lifelong fans. And a lot of people a lot of artists don't know how to do that anymore. And I find that very unique. And I feel like they utilize social media so perfectly in the sense of being able to just show everybody that journey, give everybody like content and let everybody see how much they had to work and everything they kind of had to go through just to get to where they're at. And it's just crazy because they still move like they're hungry. I just know so many artists that would have just like chilled, like artists that would have just been on the type time like, yo, I made it, I'm cool, you know, I'm gonna relax until it's time to do the military, and when I get back, blah, blah, blah. They working like rent due, and they don't got money in the bank. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's hats off to them. And it does nothing but make you love them more. You just want the best for them. And, you know, it's an amazing thing, man. And it's super addictive. And you just got to keep on just following the journey and supporting them. Sorry, I probably went on a tangent. I just want to get that out.
The 2017 Billboard Music Awards, proving just how large and loyal their fan base had become.
K-pop fans are heavily based on social media, such as Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, and these media outlets in the U.S. Started looking into these like hashtag numbers or likes, and they saw, wow, they are getting a huge amount of views, and that's when they started like getting interest into them and started inviting K-pop artists to American TV shows.
In the era of streaming and YouTube, fan interaction is critical, and BTS is constantly putting out new content to keep them engaged.
They're one of the best I've ever seen at it. They're on the social media all the time. There's always new content for fans. And that was tough before. When you were releasing content through video or through television stations, you had to wait for it. But BTS is putting out new stuff literally every day.
Beyonce has the Beehive, and Lady Gaga has her Little Monsters. But BTS's ARMY is arguably the most devoted fan base in music today.
I love BTS.
Their BTS ARMY is so locked in and so supportive online, and the BTS ARMY always shows up. I don't want to say that they're threatening, but they certainly remind you to be nice to BTS. They'll tell you what kind of food they like, what to make sure to have, snacks to have ready for them. The fandom takes care of them like no other band I've ever seen before.
ARMY's support goes far beyond social media. The Love Yourself, Speak Yourself tour has reportedly made over $180 million in ticket sales. And fans can buy everything from BTS apparel, stuffed animals, and makeup.
I spent thousands of dollars on BTS in the past few years. Thousands.
They've known and seen the group grow in front of their screen. I feel like that makes them want to support an artist even more.
But perfecting their skills as performers was just as important as building their social media presence. BTS signed with Big Hit Entertainment, which put the group through years of intense training in singing, dancing, and presentation.
To become a K-pop artist, there is intense training to debut. There are kids who audition at the age of 8, 9, and they would join the agency and train for years and years.
Aspiring idols are taught manners and self-grooming, put on diets, weighed daily, and instructed on how to coordinate outfits.
When you find that perfect pair, nothing can stop
They out there building little people and shit. Make sure y'all subscribe, man, and jump on the Patreon. I'm probably doing another one of these up on there, and it's gonna be all this other BTS stuff on there.
Many even have plastic surgery.
They just become like these perfect figures that everyone looks up to, and there's when the word idol kicks in.
Management companies even put strict limitations on their K-pop idols' social lives to keep their images intact. You'll most likely never see a member of BTS in a public romantic relationship.
A lot of times they play to the boyfriend fantasy or the girlfriend fantasy. When they do have a dating scandal, fans will no longer support the idol because they think they're being betrayed.
But for all their success, there's one major obstacle that could greatly impact BTS's future: mandatory service in the South Korean military. Korean men are required by law to enlist in the military for about 2 years. Some are able to defer enlisting under certain circumstances, such as continuing their education. Some athletes are even exempt after winning international competitions. But despite their success, K-pop idols are still required to enlist.
People are actually debating whether K-pop idols should be exempt equally as soccer players do, because they are boosting national pride, but K-pop idols are boosting national pride at the same time.
In the world of pop music, dropping out of the limelight for 2 years can be a career killer, especially for a group whose success relies on regularly putting out new content on social media. But the group's intense fan base could actually help them come back stronger than ever.
I think that after waiting for so long, they're going to be even more passionate to bring BTS back into the industry and make it even bigger.
In fact, a hiatus could work in BTS's favor.
The Backstreet Boys came back after 15 years and had another hit on the radio. So the future's wide open for BTS.
BTS seems to be the perfect musical act for the current era. Their collaborations with artists like Halsey and the Chainsmokers have helped solidify their spot in pop culture.
BTS is still getting bigger and bigger. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be around for a long time.
Whether they're together or whether they're apart, they're going to be part of our lives for the foreseeable future, for sure.
BTS fans can be assured that the idols will be around in the coming decade. The group just signed a new contract through 2026, meaning the albums, tours, and merch aren't slowing down.
We're going to appreciate their impact as we get a little bit farther away from the beginning of it and just say, wow, look at what they've accomplished as a K-pop group and as a boy band that took over the world.
Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all subscribed and definitely jump on the Patreon. I'm getting into more of this. Like I said, I was going to watch this, but, I decided to just record it and watch it with you guys so we can have a discussion. Yeah, man, I agree with almost the majority of everything they said on here. They were pretty on it. I wanted to see if they was going to say anything outlandish or kind of what direction, ironically, they were going to go in. But I'm with them. We've had several talks on this channel about just BTS and boy bands in general. I was a big One Direction fan, and when Zayn left, it kind of just, really fucked up everything and, broke that group up. And I do agree that for the most part, there is always kind of like a powerhouse with a boy group, and then it kind of recycles itself. Pretty much due to everything that they were talking about on here. These groups typically are broken up most of the times because one member wants to kind of go solo and shit like that. And they normally get their wish granted, and then the group, breaks up. What I love about BTS is just how unselfish all of them are. and how all of them can leave the group, go do their own thing, and then still come back and kill shit. And I feel like the quote unquote hiatus is showing that. You literally had RM, drop his project, do everything that he was supposed to, collab with other people and stuff. Suge, tours, everything. Drop D-Day, just out here running his movie. Jimin, drop Face, collabed with Taeyang, collab for the Fast John, just out here just doing everything that he's supposed to do. Number one. V, album coming soon. JK, killing shit. Dreamers, as soon as he, was, I feel like he was the first person that had something out and shit like that. We just got the Lotto John, number one, with his album coming directly behind that. Jin, astronaut shit, killed it. Was out there with Chris and what was that, Argentina? But enlisted and stuff, and will run his movie as soon as he come back out. J-Hope, y'all already know what's up, man. Dropped a phenomenal project. The Cole stuff, just killing it. Their solo is crazy. Their solo work is better than American artists. UK artists, K-pop artists, everybody and shit. Their solo work is better than everybody. So not only do they kill shit in a group setting, when they go by themselves, they kill shit by themselves in their solo work. That's crazy, man. Last time I've seen shit like this was like Wu-Tang Clan. And even because of money and everything else, they couldn't stay together and shit. This is an anomaly. This is something that will never happen again. I feel easily confident in saying that. They're special. They changed K-pop. I agree with you, Redeemers. They definitely paved the way. And at this point, I don't think they just paved the way for K-pop artists. I think they've paved the way when it comes to particular things for just even artists here. I think artists here should be trying to look at some of the things that they have done and replicated that. Almost anybody with that organic fan base, you're gonna succeed. Especially if it's organic and you stay true to yourself, and the objective is to kind of always just push the music forward, to be your best self, love yourself, and things of that nature. With the right fan base, it'll work for you. And they're killing shit, man. Anything else I wanted to jump into? Crazy. Talked about that already.
They contain a few English phrases.
The lyrics, they're not superficial. They're actually they mean something.
Yeah, we talked about the lyrics and everything too. But I can talk about that real quick too. And I've said this on another video. I told you that BTS has mastered music. They're able to contextualize crazy concepts, yet somehow have those songs be like bangers, to the sense of like you damn near turning up and shit, and it's still giving like a think piece almost and shit. Look at something like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and it's just like, loss of innocence and things of that nature and shit, and it's just like, they talking about all that and we still turning up. Like, I don't know, man, that shit is just like special to me, just because I feel like, music is very personal, and sometimes with music, how can I word this? Sometimes with music and shit, you can play particular artists when you're in like a certain mood. Like, let's say like I have an artist that I listen to, and that artist is more like on the neo soul type time. Or let's just say, the artist that I listen to is like quote unquote like for my depression music. BTS is just game changed, man. They have music for every single genre. Like, I don't have them on my K-pop list. I have them on like all my regular music lists. And that just like kind of speaks volumes. Like, it's just, it's rare just to find these perfect specimens at this point with just God tier music and just, just people you want to get behind and everything. So, but I'm a chill because I will run on a tangent. I've ran on tangents and stuff talking about them before and jump all over the place. But I thought this was good food for thought. And I thought this would be an interesting conversation just to have with you guys. Hope you guys been liking the content. Like I told y'all before, I'm never not doing BTS on this channel, so you guys never have to worry about that. I hope you guys like the new setup and everything. I feel like it's easier for me to get content to y'all because I told y'all I don't listen to no K-pop music outside of anything that I do with the Redeemers. So, for a while, I wasn't able to, listen to no music at all unless I was with y'all. This setup makes everything a lot easier as far as us getting content to y'all faster. Also helps us be able to kind of break down videos a lot better now because, we can pause, we can zoom in on things, we can talk about lyrics and just other stuff. So I hope you guys been liking the setups. Everybody should be good next week, so we'll be back to some of the bigger panel stuff because I got my movie coming out. I'm about to start shooting my movie next month, so a lot of stuff has just kind of been hectic, but you guys been rocking out. So, Army, I'm always appreciate y'all for that. You guys are the backbone to this channel. In the comments, tell me what live performances you guys want. I'm going to make sure we work and get that kind of situated as well. If you guys aren't subscribed, just subscribe, man. This is a fun place. Always here for great conversation and just a safe place for people who don't have no one to really talk about K-pop with. So also make sure you guys jump on the Patreon today. The Run BTS stuff will be up. Sechitai episodes is up on there, live performances and a couple other things. But yeah, man, I'm gonna holla at y'all, man. Peace.
And that was tough before. When you were releasing content through video or through television stations, you had to wait for it. But BTS is putting out new stuff literally every day.
Game changing.